Yo, how's it going, guys? Hope you're good. And as you can see, this is actually AOR Season 13, Round 1. And some of you are probably wondering how and why I'm doing this, like why I'm doing this season, although I've told you guys that I'm not. It's actually something I decided in the last minute, last weekend out. And yeah, I was actually going to tell you guys, but I honestly did not have the time. And yeah, we're here though now, and just as you can see there, Jeff told us that the rain would be stopping in 5 minutes. So this qualifying, it started off wet and it will be drying towards the end, so we just went out to get a few laps on the inters, just get in the groove really, just have a time on board. And as you can see, we set that lap time there, puts us on provisional pole, come back into the pits and just wait for the last few minutes because we know the track's about to dry out. And as you can see now, Cooper's on a super soft lap, so he'll be looking to put himself a good time in, so as a banker, and then go on and improve it later on. And as he went on super softs, I decided to go on softs because I thought if I qualify on the softs and I qualify in the top 5 or whatever, I can start on the softs and do a one stop. And I thought others would be doing this too, and I was just surprised why Cupid went on the supers. I thought he'd be going softs too, but either way, you're probably wondering why I'm backing down this much. It's because looking at time there was about 2.5 minutes left earlier, so I thought if I drop it to 2 minutes, my second lap after this would be in the last 30 seconds when the track's really good. And I did this lap, it felt pretty good, but this lap here, my actual lap that counted, it was amazing, and I'm just gonna leave you guys to it because it's just really good. And as you would have seen from that lap now, a 24.2 on the softs, on the limit, no corner cuts, anything, just a clean 24.2 on the softs, and it was just maximum attack that lap. And I honestly can't believe it that happened, and to get P2 from it as well, I'm really surprised. I thought I'd be way lower, but there you can see our teammate in front of us on the supers, us second, Mike third, Strees 4th, then we have Jason down in 5th, our brother Alonso 8th, so it's good to see him do good also on the softs, but Limitless and Martin down in, I think it was 13th and 15th, I'm not 100% sure, I think it was. So yeah, we thought like after that qualifying session, us in second on the softs, and Martin and Limits down in 13th, 15th on softs, Strees about, I think it was 4th on the source. We just thought from here on, if we could just keep our nose clean at the start and just stay in second, then we could potentially win, because the one stop was definitely quicker with danger being in traffic. But starting in second on softs, it was like, for me in my head, I just knew if I kept it clean, the win could be there. And I knew these guys also had a great pace, like Strees also, he's on the softs. And yeah, I'm still surprised to now that that lap gave me second place. But either way, we'll line up on the grid now. New car, new team, new teammate, new helmet, everything. This like, it felt like last season I was buzzing, except this season my legs weren't shaking like hell. But either way, we'll line up on the grid now. Lights about to go out, we just want a clean start, and we get a Mika style start, like surgical or whatever you want to call it. We managed to stay ahead of Mike into turn 1. Reaction time was on point there, and now coming out of turn 2, even Stree's got the jump on Mike Marshmallow, I believe. So now this is all good, because the only guy ahead of us now is actually Cupid on the super sauce, and Stree's right behind us on sauce, and from here on it was game on. And it was, to me, in my head right now, it felt like it was my race to lose, and obviously there was a bit of pressure in that, but if I just managed my race, did not get any time penalties, did not have any incidents, it just felt like I could potentially win it. And knowing, like, practicing with Cupid, like, during the weekend and that, I just knew that if he also started on the softs, if he managed to do a good lap on the softs, he would have been up there, because his pace was really good. But seeing him on the 2-stop strategy, I just knew that it's just not quicker. But either way, we're still ahead of Strees now. Good clean lap 1. And he tries to throw a dummy on us, try and put us under pressure. But so far we're just looking at the tyre wear, looking at like how much we're just trying to calculate. Like per lap, just checked around that corner, I was on 14%, so I thought next lap when I go through that I'll check again what's on. I just calculate how much tyre wear I'm causing per lap, and come across the line 14% on the rear left. Cupid's already gone, he's pulled about 1.4 second gap, so he's definitely out of the DRS and slipstream for the next lap. And we're just still staying ahead of Strees now, using lean through turn 3, 4, where the traction's like really important, and just make sure we don't get much wheel spin. And cutting onto lap 2, nothing really happened, like we just stayed nip and tuck. And Mike's still right behind Strees though, so we thought, because Mike's on the super soft tyres, we thought it's important for us to, it's important for me and Strees to not battle too hard, otherwise Mike could try and seize an opportunity. And right here, Strees actually tries to go around the outside, but the inside line here is really good, and we just kept it through there. Braked late, still gave him space, but braked late enough to basically say that, look, that's my corner. And we managed to stay ahead, not lose too much time, and I wasn't too fussed about losing time to Cupid, because like I said, the one-stop strategy is quicker, but just important not to give any chance to Mike behind us, because we just know from previous experiences that he will make it hard for us. And coming into turn 1 now, seeing Strees again throwing a dummy, but at this point I knew he'd be getting past easily with DRS and slipstream. So we enrich now, we take off standard way before the corner, we even brake early for Strees to go past. And yeah, I was happy with this. I was just happy to sit back and wait. And at this point I'm just thinking, if I can just sit behind him, put in lean, save fuel, save tyres, not push too much, and if I can just save my tyres out of the traction zones, I can pull the gap back. The time I lose through traction and early braking, I can gain it back on the straights with Rich and slipstream. And yeah, still using lean here, putting in standard, not even using Rich, and like I said, just saving fuel and tyres behind him, because we don't actually lose too much. And at this point, just still important to stay ahead of Mike, and gap's open now, and this is actually pretty comfortable for us right now. This is what we wanted at the start of the race, and this is what we're getting. And Cupid, because his tyres are degrading, he's not even opening the gap too much, so it's pretty clear now that it's our race to lose. And keeping in mind that from previous races that there's lag and that usually going on, which is important to not lose the race this early on in the stint. And yeah, here just put it in lean, just chilling. And again, lap time's not looking too bad, about 28.2, despite being overtaken and braking early into turn 3 from lap before. And yeah, still all good right now. Just not picking up any time penalties or anything, or any warnings. Staying behind, saving tyres during through that section there, and not losing time to Strees either. And cutting onto the end of lap 6, Strees actually makes a mistake, and this point I was thinking, if he's going to make mistakes like that, then we're actually going to lose time to the Cooper ahead. But also I knew that Limitless and Martin could be right behind us, a few cars behind. And so thinking that, keeping that in mind, just put in Rich, DRS slipstream, I thought, okay, I'll go for it now and try and pull a gap. And into turn 1 we go a bit wide, but we keep the line through there. And now we have DRS also, and he's now pulled out the slipstream, so he won't be gaining anything. But into turn 3 we go once again, braking late as possible, keeping that line through there, cementing our position, and now we're in provisional P1, net P1 as well, you could say. And from here on, it's just important to try and pull the gap, and keeping in mind that Mike's still round there. It's important to open the gap right here, because I thought Mike being on the super soft tyres, if he goes for an undercut, then he could potentially come ahead of us once we pit for mediums. And knowing that we could come out behind him was pretty, like, it was in my head, that's for sure. And at this point I just put it in Rich, and the fuel I saved earlier and the tyres I saved from earlier, I just thought I'd use them up now and put it in lean through here obviously, but again not losing too much by putting it through here, just saving a bit of tyres out of traction zones. Coming around the last corner now, we know that Shrews is close enough to overtake. We're keeping Rich anyway, but I think we do turn it down to stand. Yeah, we just turn it down to lean straight away because we know he's going to go past. I just brake early once again, Shrews goes past, and just did not want to lose any time to Mike behind. It's better for me to just let him pass and make sure I have a few 3-4 second gap before he pits, because the undercut's pretty massive here, and depending on what tyre he was going to go on, it was important for us to have that gap. I just did not want to get undercut by him at all. And yeah, at this point, keeping lean, standard, end of lap 8, right behind Shrews still. Mike, and now we've pulled the gap to Mike, and he's struggling on those tyres. Shrews once again goes deep into that second to last corner, and now he pits. And to me, that was pretty surprising, because I thought he'll be going for the soft medium strategy too, the one stop, and that's like the whole point of qualifying the softs, was just to do the one stop basically, and that was honestly really surprising for me. And Mike also pit, so knowing that we're going to pit about 4 laps later, we had to push and we had to go hammer time. And Limitless and Martin second and third right now, and I think they're nip and tuck, they're swapping or overtaking like each other in the past 3-4 laps. And yeah, the gap's about 6 seconds now, I think. So again, at this point I was thinking having that 6 second gap's pretty good, because once we come into the pits there's no possibility of us getting held up, because I think 3 or 4 seconds is when you get held up, but 6 second gap we don't get held up at all. And coming to end of lap 12 now, tyres about 73-74%, so if we think, okay, this is the right time to pit, we brake so early and like just make sure we don't get a penalty or drive through, just because we just knew that we're in prime position now to win the race, and everything was going to plan. We're checking everyone's like warnings at the moment to see who's on what warning, but a 2.9 second pit stop, like I don't know what I do wrong. I pressed pit this lap and it still gave me 2.9 seconds, but either way, come out right ahead of Danny M7, and this guy is a new driver, he's pretty quick, and we just thought we didn't want to be like losing the position to him. And seeing Mike right behind him as well, yeah, just thankfully we managed to keep that position, and fair play for him, like fair play to him. Danny's up to like 6th on his debut, so that's pretty good from him. And it was just good to have him in between me and Mike, and at this point I knew I could just try and pull away, and already got a decent gap coming out of this chicane now here, and the gap's pretty good, like no slipstream, like we're out of the slipstream and the RS zone range, so that's pretty good for us. And like I said, everything was just going to plan. end of lap 14 was the fastest lap. Gap's about 8.6 seconds to Cupid. It was about 9 when I came out the pits, but we started clawing the gap down, and him being on the gradient tyres, obviously that was a reason for me closing down the time. And down to 8.3 now towards the end of lap 15. Mike's still in third. I think Danny pit, and right behind Mike I think it was Limitless and Martin. And yeah, at this point, like, I'm thinking, like, the only thing that can possibly go wrong is us binning it out of nowhere, or like just disconnecting. And Cupid pits now for a set of mediums, so he'll be going to the end on those tyres. And I believe that's it now. In net first, yeah, we're net first now. And Mike in second, Martin or Danny third. I think he's not pit yet, I don't think. Okay, that was my bad. He didn't actually pit. He's still third. But right behind Danny was Limitless and Martin and Cupid. And at this point now, I think, what's the gap? Gap's big enough, but Limitless and Martin were coming right behind Mike now, and we just decided to ask Jeff what the teammate status is to see where Cupid is, because I can't see him on the map. Like, normally there's a yellow dot behind, and I could not see where he was. And I noticed that he's not like there anymore. He was about 10-30 seconds behind, and now he's not there. Jeff's saying he's about 29 seconds behind. So I was just wondering what was going on, and at that point I did not know what happened to him. But later on after the race I found out that his wheel actually broke as he was coming to the pit, so he ended up getting a drive through from it, which was a real shame, and that pretty much killed his race from there on. And coming on to like start of lap 22 now, we've managed to open a bit of a gap to Martin, nothing too much. I think we opened about 7/10 in 2 or 3 laps. But yes, again, still asking Jeff what the gap is. It's about 28 seconds, he said, and he's on like the mediums and that. So yeah, I just still at this point I was confused as to what was going on, and shame for the constructors, but also shame for the race overall, because it was surely going to be a close one at the end. I think I still would have won because of the strategy, but never know what could have happened if Cupid put the pressure on us. But either way, on lap 26 now, gaps open as Limitless and Martin battled, and at this point I was thinking my racecraft, my consistency and everything was pretty good, and I actually enjoy driving this car. It's not too different to the Williams, but it feels much more comfortable. And at this point my brother was like going in 6th, and he's asking if Reversal had any penalties. So I just paused and checked for him to tell him on party chat if he had any, and I also checked Jason's because he was getting close to both of them. And on the way I was just checking Martin's as well, Limitless as well, just seeing what the situation is. And yeah, so I just gave that information back to my brother to make sure so he knew like if he had to overtake or not. And he was right behind Reversal at this point, so it's important for him to know. And I thought I have the gap, so why not? And yeah, just good to me racing again, like just all I can say really. And we have a bit of a moment there, but yeah, like tyres really good, like we managed to save them, and I was actually pretty surprised how good these medium tyres were. If I knew they wouldn't be degrading this much, I would have pit a bit earlier. But either way, you would have seen Cupid there now, went on to lap him, and that, again, that's a real shame for him, because he did have the pace to at least finish, I think, at least second. Some people might disagree with it. I believe he would have finished second, but again, that's a shame for him. But coming to the end of the race now, lap 29, final lap, gap about 15 seconds to Limitless and Martin. Them two still batting like crazy, and it's good to see Limitless back up there. It's good to see Martin also up there, because them two are really good, and they are up there where they belong. And it's a shame that Cupid wasn't around for the battle, and it's also a shame that Sierra's not racing too, but it's honestly good for me to see Limitless and Martin up there. And coming round now, coming to the checkered flag with a little cheeky burnout, and that's it. First race of the season, and we start with a win. And I'm honestly really happy with that, because yeah, everything went to plan and everything went well. Pretty clean race, and I was also happy because I saw my brother actually got a pass reversal and he's catching down Jason pretty quickly. And also fair play, shout out to Jason. He actually managed to do a one stop starting on Supersource, because that's crazy and that's really good from him. But our brother finishing 5th in his McLaren Alonso, and happy for him. And you can see there we actually got no warnings the whole race, and you can see the consistent lap times there as well. But as you can see from the race results there now, top 5 not actually getting any time penalties, so that's pretty good and shows how close it was. Our brother actually, Alonso, he actually got taken out lap 1 turn 3, and a few times got taken out also during the race, so still all that and still finishing 5th is pretty good from him. Impressed, and I hope he keeps up that pace. And yeah, it was a clean race, no lag or nothing, no glitches either, so hopefully future races, the whole season can go on like this, and looking forward to battles in the future, because I know it won't be as easy as this at all. So just looking forward to Bahrain, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in Bahrain. Cheers.